those payments delayed that can't afford it.
And I think one of the things too, John, is because this is so fluid, and certainly I want to get to Councilman Squilla, is each and every day, as our elected officials know, as we see, there's different things coming, different changes coming, different programs. So hopefully, we hope there may be another stimulus package that may have another influx. Certainly, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Small Business Administration opportunities again, because that seems to be really the only game in town right now. But I want to get to Councilman Squilla, who's been waiting patiently. Councilman, welcome. Anything you'd like to add or any updates?
Well, thank you for unmuting me. I was unmuted before and I was talking on the phone, but you know, as my state colleagues have said, this is a major challenge. And, you know, the commerce grants that went out there, thank God for you guys in the bid and the board to be able to get that information out to a lot of our small businesses. There's still plenty of businesses that didn't even know about the opportunities that were out there. And the commerce grants and loans, again, are only a Band-Aid to the federal stimulus package. But understanding now that we are talking about in the city, the states have combined with other states to work on a opening up process. The city is doing the same. And you know, the rollout is not going to be open the floodgates and everybody go back to work. I think from what we're hearing is it's going to be start out very gradual and see how it goes to see if the spike of cases move up when they start opening up businesses. So it's going to be a long process. It's going to be a challenge. You're going to see different industries going back at different times. I guess as we see the spread of the virus, when we were on the call yesterday, they were saying upwards of 90% of the people will end up getting the virus at some point. So everybody will get it. And if it stays level along, the healthcare system will be able to maintain it throughout. So I think right now is the process of how do we go back to normal? How do we get there? And, you know, what businesses will lead their way through opening back up? And like somebody said earlier on the call, even when you do open up, it's not going to be like you're open for business and everything goes back to normal. Whether you were a restaurant or a retail store and you have winter clothes still and the summer clothes you didn't even order and you have stuff that you never sold, and you know, how do these people lose a whole season and be able to pay their rent and things like that? So we've been working with Commerce to see, you know, they wanted to really go in and try to give more grants out. And I think today is the last day for the second round, or tomorrow. We need to understand that how do we help these people once they open? How do we then get them through the beginning stages of opening back up with low to moderate income and getting employees back? We heard some employees in the restaurant business, you know, and other places where, you know, some people on unemployment are going to be making more money than they were making when they were actually working. And to get some of those folks back is going to be a challenge. But I would like that chance to be there and getting these folks back into the business world and gradually opening up. But I would say nothing's going to happen until at least the beginning of May. And then as it gradually throughout the summer, but you're still, I think it was Mary said that the social distancing and the masks is probably something that's going to be throughout the summer. You're not going to see probably any large events happening in at least throughout the beginning of the summer, and maybe start them near the end of the summer. And if they are large events, they have to be scaled back, and a lot of people may not attend them. So these are things that we have to consider moving forward as we start getting back to some type of normality. But we know it's going to be a challenge moving forward. Council's still having a challenge. Our council session is canceled for tomorrow, and we're going to go virtual on next Thursday. But even that, to only do things that are COVID related. So it's a challenge for everybody. And I think my main thank you to you, Mark, and your board and your team to getting that information out so that folks at least had opportunity to apply for some of these subsidies is really big, because we couldn't get that information out to everybody. And thank you for what you have done. And
Thank you for everything.
We appreciate it. So let's hang in there, work together, and whatever you think we could do to help, information, answers we don't have, maybe we could get. The health department is out there, though. I know people, and we have gotten some calls from the health department for people who are doing takeout and deliveries, that the health department has showed up and made things a little more complicated. We've been trying to work with them to realize that we want people to comply and not shut them down. So I think we're getting some leadway there, but there are some people who are adapting better than others, and so we have to make sure we address the ones who aren't able to adapt to make sure they can survive through this.
Thank you, Councilman. Are there any other elected officials on the call? I don't want to, or their offices. I don't want to omit anybody before we sort of finish up and then open it up for questions. Just to piggyback on something Councilman Squilla said with the health department, that is true. In fact, several of our eateries that are doing takeout have gotten notices, and what they've been doing, not just here in other parts of the city, is they are now cracking down and checking to make sure that all best practices and regulations are being followed, that for those that are allowed to be open, are open, the ones that aren't shouldn't be, and that they're in total compliance. I think I speak for all of our elected officials. If you get one of those notices and you're not sure what to do, call me, call the councilman, call Representative Isaacson, Senator Farnese, and we'll certainly be able to get you the answers that you need. But don't necessarily be alarmed. This is happening, throughout the city as well. Just as far as some of the loan things that are out there, as the councilman set up, the deadline for the city's emergency small business relief fund is, the second wave is tomorrow. Just to let you know, when this first started, just pulling some notes from our last call, the city had allotted $9.2 million for this program. They received 4,221 applications requesting $61 million. So certainly the need outweighed what they had. They've changed some of the guidelines now. Now they're basing it first and foremost on your annual revenue. They've cut down the micro enterprise grant from 5,000 to 2,500. Their goal is to try to hit as many of our businesses as possible. If you haven't applied, and certainly we get updates from Commerce every week in our service area, which is 19122, 23, and 25. A significant amount have filed, so that's great to hear, and I'm glad, certainly let us know. Also, the state's working capital loan program, which was open very briefly, because they were also flooded. I spoke with Jeff Silo of PIDC yesterday, and he also indicated that our service area was a pretty high percentage of their applicants. So I'll be curious to see just how much was put out. So lastly, what you have now is the Small Business Administration loan. So as Samantha talked about, was the emergency disaster loan programs, and there's also the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program. That is solely based through your bank. So first and foremost, go to your bank first to see if they're applying, if they're taking applications, if they're still taking it. But there are other banks, which we sent out a list last week. We'll do that again at the end of this week, of other small banks that will take your application, even if you haven't done it. The good part about the PPP program, if you're granted, it is a forgivable loan if at least 75% is spent on payroll. So we urge you, if you haven't done it, is to file for it. Contact us if you have any questions. Lastly, before we open it up for questions, we talked about earlier the bids efforts and not just getting information to all of our stakeholders, to all of you, and I'm glad to see that that's happening, is to also make sure that we're doing things to keep our commercial corridor afloat, keep money coming in. We did a program, obviously, encouraging people to send meals through our restaurants and eateries to the 26th district, as you heard from the captain. That's gone very, 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 very well. A lot has, I guess it's great that they've gotten so much food that they've donated it to other places that need it, like Episcopal Hospital. So that's a great thing. We also urge you to check our website, fishtownbid.org. Also on social media, the Fishtown District. We're doing our 5 for Fishtown program, which we are encouraging all of you. And we have a list on all of our social media and websites of all our economic entities. Buy 5 different gift cards of $10 each from one of our businesses, one of our eateries, and then encourage 5 of your friends to do that. It's a great way to have a little revenue coming, supporting our businesses, and also have something in place for when we do open up. We want to be able to make sure that we thrive better than ever. Before we conclude, I just want to open it up. Are there any remaining questions for any of our guests? I want to thank our elected officials, Captain Fisher. We couldn't do any of this without them. We are very lucky to have each and every one of you for all that you do for us, and I'm proud that you're our partners, so thank you again. Any questions before we conclude today?
Mark, do you mind if I plug the t-shirt program real quick?
Please go ahead. Thank you, Kay.
Yep. So another initiative, promotional initiative for businesses that we are rolling out this week is we teamed up with Devilfish Inc., who's a Fishtown Co. member, and they came up with a great COVID-specific t-shirt design. And if businesses are interested, they can reach out to Brian Potash directly and sign up to be a participating business. All that really means is you help promote the t-shirt sale, and then your business can receive some of the proceeds from those t-shirt sales. So it's a great way for businesses who are not able to sell food or do online classes or still operate in some way to be able to bring in revenue. So if you're interested in participating in that, talk to me, talk to Brian, and we can help set that up for you.
And Kay's email is kkae@fishtownbid.org. And we'll also be putting that out in our end of the week Friday newsletter as well. We've seen the t-shirts, they're awesome. So it's a way to kind of look cool and also another way to support. So thank you, Kay. Randy, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if there's anything that you guys want us to promote, you can send it to Mark. Kay, you can send it to me. I'm Randy at fishtownbid.org. We're here to help in any way that we can.
Great, thank you, guys. If there's no further question, we'll kind of bid adieu for now. Thank you all for participating. We hope it was helpful. Thank you, Captain Fisher. Thank you, Senator Farnese, Representative Isaacson, Councilman Squilla, for being part of it. And we'll be scheduling another one of these in the near future, but certainly reach out to us